All right, everybody, welcome.
Hey there.
This week, we're diving into the latest and greatest tech developments.
Sounds good.
We've got OpenAI, raking in cash like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, yeah.
Nvidia is taking on climate change with an insane amount of data.
Wow.
And even a tech legend's making a comeback.
Yeah, I like the sound of that already.
Let's jump right in. First up, OpenAI.
Okay.
They just secured a massive $6.5 billion investment.
6.5 billion with a B.
With a B.
Yeah.
Potentially the biggest the AI world has ever seen.
Wow, that's a lot of cheddar.
It is. And everyone from Apple to Microsoft wants in.
Yeah.
What's got these tech giants so eager?
Well, it's not just about AI that thinks anymore, right? It's about AI that can act in the real world.
So like instead of just asking Alexa to play music, we're talking about AI that can actually do things in the physical world.
Exactly. Imagine AI that can interact with our surroundings.
Whoa.
Do the things that used to need a human to step in.
So like instead of asking my smart speaker to order a pizza,
Yeah,
I could send an AI-powered robot to go pick it up for me.
exactly. Although let's maybe think a little bigger than pizza for a second.
I go bigger than pizza.
This tech could completely change industries. Manufacturing, logistics, even things like healthcare and transportation could look totally different.
Yeah, it's both exciting and a little scary, don't you think?
It definitely makes you think.
It does.
Yeah.
Speaking of big impacts, let's talk about Nvidia. They're teaming up to build this climate modeling AI
Okay.
powered by a mind-blowing amount of data, 100 petabytes. To put that into perspective, how much data are we actually talking about?
100 petabytes. Well, that's enough to store every single word ever spoken in human history.
Every word ever spoken.
And then some. But this isn't just about throwing a ton of data at the problem.
Okay, there's got to be more to it.
Right. We're talking about creating a digital twin of the entire planet. A model so accurate that it can predict how everything will impact our climate.
So like how deforestation or volcanic eruptions might affect things decades from now.
Yeah, things like that.
That's incredible. So instead of reacting to climate change as it happens, we could actually get ahead of it.
Exactly. If Nvidia can actually pull this off,
Yeah.
it could completely change how we deal with climate change.
It's like having a crystal ball for the planet.
Sort of. But let's hope this one gives us better news than a crystal ball usually does.
I'm with you there. Okay, now for something completely different. Remember Jony Ive, the design genius behind the iPhone?
Oh, yeah. How could you forget Jony Ive?
Well, he's back, and he's teaming up with OpenAI to create some kind of new device.
Interesting.
The details are top secret, but the rumor mill is going crazy. What do you think they're cooking up?
Well, we know Jony Ive, right? Minimalist design, obsessed with user experience.
Yeah, he's the one who took those clunky old cell phones
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
and turned them into the sleek, intuitive devices we all use today.
It's true. He made tech beautiful and enjoyable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine that same design thinking applied to artificial intelligence.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Could this be the start of a new era of AI devices? Ones that are not only powerful, but also beautifully designed and easy to use.
Or maybe it's another one of those tech hype bubbles.
True. Only time will tell.
Exactly.
But I've got to say, I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, me too. I'm really curious to see what they come up with.
Me too. Okay, speaking of highly anticipated tech releases, the new iPhone 16 just dropped.
Oh, it did.
It did. But it seems to be missing some of those flashy AI features everyone was expecting.
Interesting.
Is Apple slipping up?
Well, Apple's always been careful with new technology.
True.
They're all about that smooth user experience.
Right.
And that means thoroughly testing everything before they release it.
So they'd rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly. They're playing the long game here.
So while other companies are racing to be first,
Yeah.
Apple's taking its time.
Precisely. They're watching how things play out before they fully jump on board.
So the lack of headline-grabbing AI in the iPhone 16
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean Apple's falling behind.
Yep.
Maybe they're just biding their time, waiting for the perfect moment to drop something amazing.
Could be.
Okay, now for a real head-scratcher.
Oh, hit me with it.
Microsoft is apparently considering using nuclear energy to power its AI ambitions.
Nuclear energy?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, you heard that right. And not just any nuclear reactor. We're talking about the infamous 3 Mile Island.
That's an interesting choice.
It sounds crazy, right? But the energy demands of AI are massive,
Yeah.
and Microsoft is looking at every option.
So repurposing existing infrastructure to reduce reliance on fossil fuels.
Maybe, but is it worth the risk?
It's a tough one, right? On the one hand, nuclear power could be a good thing for the environment. no carbon emissions.
Which is something we desperately need.
No doubt about it. But then there's the whole nuclear meltdown thing.
Yeah, and the radioactive waste doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it?
Not really.
No.
It's a gamble for sure.
It seems like every solution has its own set of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to something a little less apocalyptic. Online shopping.
A bit lighter. Yeah.
Amazon's launching this new AI shopping tool just in time for Prime Day.
Of course. Just in time for Prime Day.
It's supposed to analyze your browsing history, past purchases, even what you do on social media,
They're watching everything.
to recommend the perfect product. So is this the future of shopping, or are we heading towards some kind of Black Mirror episode?
It's like that line between amazing and creepy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's kind of cool having a digital personal shopper.
Right, knows exactly what you want.
Yeah, but it's also a bit like having someone read your diary.
More like reading your entire internet history.
True. And that's where it gets a little iffy.
Yeah, like how much of our privacy are we willing to give up? Just for a few personalized recommendations.
Exactly. And how do we know these algorithms are really working in our best interest?
Good point. What if they're just pushing the products that make them the most money?
Or the products that keep us hooked on their platform?
It's like we're trading our freedom of choice for convenience.
It's a slippery slope for sure.
It is. Okay, let's wrap things up with one last mind-blowing development. Microsoft is working on a new AI model called GRIN-MoE.
GRIN-MoE. That's a mouthful.
It is, but don't let the name fool you.
Yeah.
This thing is a game changer, especially if you're a coder or a mathematician.
Oh, really? How so?
Imagine a world where all the tedious parts of coding are automated.
Wait, you're saying this AI can code for you?
In a way, it can help you write code faster and more efficiently.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
No more late nights hunched over a keyboard.
Exactly. You can focus on the creative stuff, the big picture.
So instead of fixing bugs all day,
You could be designing the next hit video game.
I like the sound of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's not just for coding. This technology could revolutionize all sorts of fields.
Like what?
Scientific research, engineering, finance, anything that involves complex calculations,
So we're talking about major breakthroughs.
potentially. But as always, with great power comes great responsibility.
What are the downsides?
It makes you wonder, though, if this is it for programmers and mathematicians. Will AI make them obsolete?
It's a valid question, and honestly, it's one that comes up a lot with every new AI development.
It does feel like we're standing at the edge of a whole new world.
We are. The pace of change is incredible, and yeah, it can be a little scary.
It's like that old saying, technology is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good or bad.
Exactly. And with something as powerful as AI, the stakes are even higher.
So how do we make sure we're using it responsibly?
Well, for starters, we need to be having these conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
And not just among tech people.
Right. Everyone needs to be involved. Policymakers, educators, even the general public.
It's about shaping the future we want to see, not just letting it happen to us.
Exactly. And part of that is preparing people for the changes ahead.
So like making sure people have the skills they'll need in a world where AI is everywhere.
Absolutely. As AI takes over more routine tasks,
Yeah.
we need to focus on fostering those uniquely human skills. Creativity, critical thinking, problem-solving, things that AI can't replicate.
It's about learning to work alongside these machines, not fearing them.
Exactly.
Wow. It's a lot to think about,
It is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
isn't it? Every week, there's some new mind-blowing development. It's almost hard to keep up.
Tell me about it. But that's what makes it so exciting, too.
You're right. It's like exploring a whole new frontier.
Exactly. And who knows what we'll discover next?
Well, one thing's for sure, it's could be an interesting ride.
You can say that again.
And on that note, that's a wrap on another deep dive. Thanks for joining us as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening out there, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the world of tech.